Good evening, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Wednesday Evening Happy Hour with Back to Basics Dog Trading. I'm excited to be here tonight. I hope everybody's having a great evening. And remember, if you're watching, you're paying attention here, shoot me a comment. Let me know you're here. I know we were having some issues with some comments last week. Some certain platforms weren't posting here to where I can see them. But please put the comments there. Let me know what your platform you're watching on: Facebook, YouTube, Twitter. Let me know what you're watching on. Hello, Christine. How are you? And how is Marshall doing? And of course, your family. So let me know what platform you're watching on. Let me know. Again, we're here for open question and answer period. I know this week's topic is going to be about mastering the walk back to basic style. It's something I'm excited to always talk about because I think we all need to walk our dogs better. And the more we walk them with the structure that I've set up, we show leadership. We give them specific rules and boundaries and structure, and they want to follow that. So I'm excited to bring it. I also going to try something new, guys. Hello, good evening, Bonnie. Marshall's doing good. We're all good. Got to meet some manatees over the weekend. Oh, I love manatees. They're so cute. Can't wait to maybe we can get together soon. It sounds like. I'll talk more about that at the end of the live chat, but we'll talk about that definitely. So what I'm going to try new with this week is I'm going to actually share my screen. I have some before and after videos of a customer that I worked with. They were kind enough to send me some before videos before I even started our training session to show me how their dog walked. This is a dog we spoke about 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago on this platform, Bodhi, who was a nightmare to walk. And you'll see it in the videos. And then the family that Bodhi's parents really focused on mastering the walk with Bodhi, and you'll see in the after videos the progress they made. It's really cool, and it just goes to show with some effort, guys, we can all have this. No matter how bad you think your dog is walking on a leash, it can be fixed. I want to focus more on that this week. So if anybody has questions on walking your dog, be it it's just a nightmare. They pull me all over the place. They stop to sniff every little freaking thing. I never get anywhere. They're reactive to other dogs, people, bicycles, cars, motorcycles, loud things, garbage pails blowing. Good morning. Good evening. I'm sorry. Wow. Susan, how are you tonight? But a little icon, I'm going to say you're on YouTube watching me. And again, guys, remember, put in the comments where you're watching from. It's real important to me because I've been trying to get this shared all over the country and all over the world, because I do believe my saying that together we can help one dog and one family at a time. So the more we get this around the country and around the world, I think we'll start seeing happier and healthier dogs and happier and healthier people who own the dogs. So anybody who's been a follower of mine on either my Facebook page or on this YouTube platform knows I talk about the structured walk. On my YouTube channel, I broke the walk down to 5 episodes. There's a playlist out there, Mastering the Walk Back to Basic Style. There's 5 episodes in it. Master episode 1 before you go to episode 2, before you go to episode 3, before you go to episode 4, and before you go to episode 5. I designed the walk specifically to have your dogs understand that, one, you're in control of the walk. You are the leader. You are the pack leader. You're leading this process. And also, two, teaching you guys how to disagree with the dog being overly excited for the walk. Anybody who I've worked with that's watching, who has had that overexcited dog for the walk, put in the comments. Let me know how that walk was before you started doing Mastering the Walk Back to Basic Styles. If you have implemented it, let me know. Was it, how pleasant of experience was it? Because walking our dogs should be pleasurable. I always say when I walk Zoe, and I use her as the example, that part of the leash that's that's closest to the collar that I'm holding in my hand should feel like me holding my wife's hand as we're walking down the street when she's not pissed off at me. Because when she's pissed off, it hurts. So we never want to do that. Excuse me. So again, so episode 1, when I talk about episode 1, you guys hear me talk about it, I'm talking about just the excitement of putting the leash on the dog. Don't make the mistake people make all the time with their dogs. You want to go for a walk? You want to go for a walk? Hey, Zoe, you want to go for a walk? And we get the dog all excited before we even put the leash on. And then we're playing the game, trying to get a leash on the dog. We're all over the place. We're chasing the dog. It becomes a fun game for the dog. And we're aggravated. We're pissed off. We're frustrated, which goes against everything that I keep talking about, which is no anger, no frustration, no nonsense. If you're going to get angry and frustrated trying to just walk the dog, trying to get the dog out of the house, imagine what that whole walk is going to be like. You're going to be stressed out. Dog's going to be stressed out. Dog's going to be just acting a complete moron on the walk. And you're going to be like, I'm never doing this again. And that's never the answer. So it's about, episode 1 is about just putting the leash on your dog when your dog is in the state of mind you want your dog to be in, which is a calm state of mind. Again, I talk about it. Energy is crucial. We say this week in, week out on every platform I have. Energy is the most important part of doing dog training. It's the most important part of communicating between you and your dog. The words don't mean much to the dog. Your energy means the world to your dog. So the calmer you stay, of course, the calmer your dog stays. So if they're playing this game, wanting you to chase them to put the leash on, don't. Sit down, relax. Make them come over to you and basically go, why aren't you putting the leash on me? How come? I want the leash on me. You're not putting it on. And then you're going to be able to give them another job. Sit. When the state of mind's calm, you're going to put the leash on. Then you're going to get up and you're going to start the process to go to the front door. And the odds are your dog is going to try to drag you to the front door if they're excited. You can't. You have to stop there. You have to lead the dog to the front door. Because if they're leading you at any point, even at this early stage before we even get out the door, they're in control in their mind. And we don't want them to have that control because that makes the walk miserable. It doesn't make it fun. So you have to control. And what I tell people all the time, so I'm sitting here in my chair right now. I put the leash on my dog. Everything's going good. I get up and the dog starts to take off towards the door. Put an imaginary X where the dog's body was to start. Make the dog come back to that position until they can figure out on their own how to proceed to get to that front door to start the process of the walk. And episode 2 is about threshold management. Threshold management, I've said before, is the most crucial part of the walk. If you can't get out the front door, the gate, whatever you're using as a threshold in a calm manner, without the dog going through that door threshold at 7,000 miles an hour, your walk is not going to be enjoyable. It's impossible because the dog's mind is not where you need it yet. So again, if you get to the door, and I'm going to tell you the routine because I've seen it happen too many times. You get the dog to the door, you get them to sit or stay. I don't care about the physical part of it. I just don't want forward motion. And you touch the doorknob, they're going to get up and you're going to stop the process. Nope. Imaginary X, sit, stay, whatever words you're going to use until you can open up the door. And then if you have 2 doors with the storm door, you're going to go through the same process at the second door. And then you should be able to walk out the door without your dog coming out after you because you haven't invited them yet. If they do, nope, back into the house until they understand they have to wait for you to give them a release command to continue the walk. And then if they bolt out the door at 700 miles an hour, when you give them a release command, they're too excited to have to come back in. That imaginary X is going to be crucial. And then you should start seeing your walk go a lot smoother because those 2 steps are so important. And I'll tell you now, if you have an hour dedicated to your walk and it takes you 45 minutes to get out the door the right way, your walk is 15 minutes. Because mentally, you really kick your dog's butt. and they'll be exhausted. They'll sleep more when they get back in. A tired dog's a good dog. But I'm going to show you now. I'm hoping this loads up right. I'm going to show you now something that I have that I thought was here. Let me see if I can pull it up. The video is not letting me. Of course not, because I'm trying to figure this out here. So just bear with me here. Let me see if it lets me share this video. Give me a second, guys. Let me get back here and let me maximize this. And that's all it's showing us. That's not what I want to see. So let's get rid of that. Let's get rid of that for now. Get me back up here. Sorry, you got to look at me again. So now I think I got what I want up here. So let me go. No, why isn't it showing me? Just give me a second. I'm trying to figure this out, guys. Let's get rid of this. Share the screen. All right. Well, unfortunately, it's not letting me share my screen the way I would want it to. So I guess that's something for next week to figure out. Unable to show screen. Screen share is not allowed. That's weird. So anyway, so basically what the video was showing, sorry about that, is before I got involved with Bodhi walking down the street, zigzagging in front of the owner, going behind her back, jumping up a little bit, trying to bite the leash, control the leash, whatever. I mean, he was just all over the place. And since I was at the house, I'm going to tell you now, the video that they sent me was no more than a half a block that they walked. And I don't know how they made it a half a block without being stressed out of their minds. I wonder, no, that won't do it. That shuts off my video. I'm still trying to figure this out here, guys. So I don't know why it's not showing me the screen I wanted to show. That'll be a project for a future endeavor here. So we went through our whole training session. You can actually see that training session on my YouTube channel. It's Bodhi. I don't remember what I named it. I can look it up later and I'll let you know. But it's the whole session. The whole session is about mastering the walk. What I really like about the session is the way we decided to film it is we actually had two cameras there, but I only showed it on one view. And the reason I did that is I didn't want to cut and paste anything. It is a full training session. So it's about an hour and 35 minutes, hour and 40 minutes, somewhere around there. Uncut, uninterrupted, start to finish. The only time it was cut was when we needed to change the battery in the camera, because the battery went dead quicker than I would want it to, but it did, and that's what it is. And it's really amazing to watch the whole process, because one thing is, the way I look at that video, guys, it's a free training session put out there for you guys, mastering the walk. We talk about the whole process in the video. We do it the threshold at their gate, and then we go down the street and Pity Patter, you got to let me know your first name, because I see that up here all the time, and I think I know you're on my Facebook too by a different name. So I appreciate you watching me on YouTube, but let me know your first name, because I don't want to call you Pity Patter. Pity Patter. So we were out doing this in the yard, because this is in the height, the beginning of COVID, and we didn't want to work in a home at all for safety purposes, health purposes. So we worked out in the yard. We try to keep the social distancing as best as we can, of course. And we use the gate as a threshold, because that's a legitimate threshold. And you can see the process of them trying it, and then me just doing it. Antonella, thank you. Now I won't call you a Pity Patter anymore. If I remember that by the time we do this again. So when we do that threshold management part, which is, like I said, the most important part of it, you can see when I took the leash, Bodhi followed it. And it wasn't because I was using this. It wasn't because I'm 6'5" man with a deep voice. It had nothing to do with that. It's my energy told him what I expect from him. And he got it without me saying much to him. I was talking to the homeowner, his mommy and daddy. I wasn't having a conversation with Bodhi, but I was directing him what to do with my energy. Yes, I would say sit. Yes, I would say stay. And then when I released him, he'd come through the gate like a gentleman. And in that training video, you actually see them having the same, trying to do the same thing with the struggles of it, because the struggle is real. But eventually they got it. And then throughout that video, you'll see them walking Bodhi, me walking Bodhi, and you'll see the change. And there's nothing magical in it. And I keep saying this week in, week out, guys, there's nothing magical in what I do. I purposely roll up my sleeves a lot of times because there's nothing up my sleeves. It's a belief in the theology and the energy that I talk about constantly. Energy is the most important thing. I mean, there is no doubt. And not being angry, not being frustrated guides the system better. And if you think about it in our everyday lives, if we can live our lives without no anger, no frustration, how much better our lives would be. Don't let the outside world pollute you. Don't let what happened at work affect how you work with your dog. Take it to the umpteenth degree. If you had a fight with your significant other and you go to walk the dog, don't walk the dog with that fight in your mind. It's not fair to the dog. They're not going to understand that negativity, that negative energy, and they're going to rebel against it. And that's what I see 99% of the time when I worked in people's homes with their dogs. And as the dogs understand very quickly what I'm trying to communicate to them when they're not getting it for their owners. And the biggest thing is my energy is where the dog understands me. So the energy is what the communication tool is. The words aren't. The words are make us feel good. We need to speak to our dogs, and I speak to my dogs. Don't get me wrong. I've even trained deaf dogs, and I talk to them. So, we do. We talk to dogs. So, with that being said, guys, who's ever out there watching, let me know if this makes sense, the energy. Let me know if you have questions on the energy. I mean, we can talk about the processes of doing something. Antonella just asked me a question, so we'll put it up there for everybody to see. How can I help people who visit my home to not be scared of my dog? I have them muzzled, but their energy is scared. Well, you need to have a conversation with them before they come into your home. With the muzzle on the dog, your dog cannot hurt them. So why are they scared? You should also not only have your dog on a muzzle, but you should also have the dog on a leash, which would give you, guess, a calmer feeling because you'll be in control. But again, what I would go back to is not having your dog react at the front door. So when people come over, dogs get excited. And that excitement a lot of times does unfortunately turn to aggression because it's not corrected properly. So what my suggestion would be at that point, okay, yes, always on a leash. Great. My suggestion would be at that point is, one, don't open the door while your dog is in a state of mind other than calm. So you have somebody come to your house, they ring the doorbell, they knock on the door, whatever it is, and the dog starts acting the way it's been. Aggressive, excited, whatever it may be. Well, don't open the door. Do not open the door. Because you don't want to reward that state of mind with the prize behind the door. When the dog's state of mind is where you would want it, and that should be a calm mind focused on you as the handler, then you could start the process of opening the door. But up until then, don't try to open the door. I know it's freaking cold outside here in New York, but make people stay outside until you're doing this for the benefit of your dog. And two, you're doing this for the benefit of the human coming into the house. So after that, we got the dog calm. They're focused on us. We could start the process of opening the door. The odds are it'll be the same thing I talked about in threshold management about the walk. You turn the doorknob a little bit, the dog's going to get up and start the nonsense over. Process stops. We bring them back down, we regroup, and we start the process over again until they understand they are not going to get what they want, which is that prize behind door number one, until they're calm. And I always say when you open the door for a guest, especially when you're dealing with a dog that has shown aggression, always put yourself between your guest and your dog. So you got X amount of feet before the dog can even get there. Should be on a short leash. You have to be relaxed because don't forget, you're going to communicate that through the leash to your dog. The more relaxed you are, the better this process goes. Again, because energy is the most important tool to communicate to your dog. Now, when your guests come in, you have to instruct them. No look, no touch, no talk. They're not there to interact with your dog. They're in there to see you and be sociable with you, not the dog. As much as people want to say, oh, well, I love the dogs. Okay, great. You love the dogs. Who cares? This is my dog. This is what I want you to do. And you should escort them or invite them into wherever part of the house they're going to go to, the living room or the kitchen, or den or whatever. And you go there. And your dog can't greet them at all. So if they start walking in the house and the dog starts acting stupid again, they have to stop. You have to control the dog, get the dog to calm down, focus on you. Then the guest can continue the process. The more you do this, you'll see that reaction that right now your dog's on a muzzle may not need to be there. But you got to take the step. I've told people that I've worked with, put notes on your door. Fido's in training. It may take us a while to answer the door. If you don't like it, leave. And then sign it back to basics dog training. When your guests do come into the house, they are not there to interact with your dog. So you have to be very stubborn on the fact, I hope that's the right word, of that no look, no touch, no talk. Do not direct anything to them. They should say hi to you. Go to where you direct them to go. And then when your dog is calm, you bring your dog over to them slowly. And as long as the dog is calm, they can greet the dog. The dog can smell them. Your dog's on a muzzle. Nobody's going to get bit unless they're stupid enough to put their fingers in there. You should know your dog well enough to know if the dog's going to jump and maybe take a chance of scratching people. You need to read your dog's body language. And as soon as you see that little change, you got to start checking up and disagreeing with it. It makes them feel, I keep him also behind a gate. A good or bad idea. I don't personally like this idea. I've worked in homes where people have done that. Put dogs behind the gate, put them in the bathroom, put them in another room. Think about this for a second. Every time somebody comes into your dog's home, they're getting locked away. Every time somebody comes into my home, I'm being locked away. Every time somebody comes into my home, I'm being locked away. What would that tell me? I don't like these things coming in my house because I get put away. I get restricted to where I'm allowed to be. I don't have free run. I'm not saying get free run because we're on a leash, but I'm not part of the pack that way. And what are dogs? They're pack animals. They want to be part of the process. That's why it's so important. When I talk about introducing people to your home, guys, I'm not talking about doing it with, he can see the company, but he's not part of it. He can see the company, but he's not part of it. Because he's telling you, I'm not comfortable here if he's acting out. The best thing to do is on a leash with the muzzle, but you can't open the door until he's calm. And how do you do this? Don't do this with friends and relatives, neighbors. Well, you can do it with good friends or do it with family members that live in the home. I'm sorry, I'm very adamant on this front door thing, Antonella. I know I'm sounding very, it is a passion. But take the time. It's a labor of love. Guys, everything I talk about is not going to happen day one. It might, depending on the dog, depending on the human. It's not going to happen on day one. But the passion that you put into it, and that calm energy, knowing what you're doing is the best thing for your dog, it's worth it. It's patience, it's consistency, it's patience, it's consistency, it's patience, it's consistency. Day in, day out, you got to live, breathe, and poop it out. But the energy that you use during these times when your dog is at its worst, your energy is so, so important. The higher they go, the calmer you need to be. Stop overthinking it. Don't ask the dog, don't do the why. I hate when people ask, why is my dog doing this? Does it really make a difference why? My opinion, no, it doesn't. My opinion is, I don't like this behavior. Let me teach you a better way to do this. So if I came to Antoinette's house and I saw the dog doing this, of course, I'd be guiding her verbally on how to handle this. But the best thing for me to do is actually take the leash and have somebody else, somebody who lives in that house, or a neighbor, or one of my, my family members, knock on the door so we can go through the whole process. It's a labor of love. It's a process. It's going to happen, but you have to stay consistent. You have to stay patient. You have to stay consistent. You have to stay patient. And remember, consistency, consistency, consistency. And it's hard. If your guests are coming into your home scared, that energy is so overpowering, you actually have to go calmer to try to make your dog understand. I had this case in a house I worked in not too long ago where it was one of the few times I went against my instincts. The dog was just going through a real bad case of the zoomies, bouncing off the walls. And when he's a puppy, so everything was with the mouth if he got a hold of you. And I was trying to control him, and it's one of the few times I've actually had to pin down a dog, and it was taking me to hold the dog, and not because of my energy, because of the overwhelming energy from the family members in the house. And my gut instinct, and I should have went with it, was to throw them the hell out of the room. Let me deal with the dog. Let me get this dog to a better state of mind. And I didn't, so it took me that much longer to do what I could have most likely accomplished a lot quicker. So, again, I understand it sounds easy when I just talk it to you guys, but I understand the work that's going to need to go into it to do this the right way. But the best thing I can tell you, stay calm no matter what. Convince that person who's coming in the house. I got to be careful what I say. So don't take this literally. Have them have a glass of wine and Xanax before they come over then. I don't, not if they're driving. But it can happen. And do things in baby steps. Do things in baby steps. That's why I always say, try to use your family members, people that live in the house. Sneak out the back door, go to the front door, knock on the door, ring the doorbell, create that guest environment without inviting guests over. It just makes it so much better. And if everybody in the family does it the same way with the same energy, stays consistent, you'll see it works. It works. You don't necessarily need tools. Yes, the muzzle is a great tool because, one, the muzzle should make you feel calmer. It should make your guests feel calmer. But, you don't necessarily need tools. Guys, I've said this before. I'll say it again. The best tool in the toolbox of a dog trainer is the energy. Everything else is secondary. If you can't control the energy, you can't control the dog. If you're frantic, your dog is frantic. If you're nervous, your dog is nervous. If you're guarded, your dog is guarded. I mean, I can go through, there are mirrors. They reflect, they give you what you give them. So if you're a naturally nervous person, you're going to see your dog as probably a nervous dog. If you're a naturally hyper person, you're going to see your dog is probably hyper. But the dog doesn't want to be in either one of those states. What your dog wants is calm. That's what they live for. Calm is much better. So I'm hoping, guys, you're getting some value out of this. Let me know. Shoot me a comment. Let me know how this is going for you guys. If there's any other questions, of course, keep the questions coming. That's what I live for. I need those questions to motivate me. The other thing I want to bring up, I don't know if Bonnie's still here watching. Bonnie sent me a Facebook message, I believe it was earlier, about a family dog who I guess bit somebody in the house. And it does happen. But the videos that I was sent, it seems like it gets along with the other dogs. So why did it bite the human? And I know I don't like that question. Why? What I would want to know is what led up to the bite. Dogs don't bite for no reason. I hope you guys can understand that. Um, dogs are not aggressive by nature. There's a reason for things. Dogs that bite, aggression is an outcome of an issue that just wasn't addressed properly. I'm a firm believer in that. So, you know, my question to the person that got bit is what led up to the bite? Something happened. Was it I tried to take something away from the dog? Was I was in a the dog did something and I yelled and screamed at it and got in its face? It's never unprovoked. People tell me, well, the dog bites without warning. BS. There's always a warning. Dogs, I've not run across a dog in all my years that bit without warning. Even when I got 9 stitches in my hand a few years ago, I saw it happening before it happened. I just I wasn't quick enough to avoid it. Shame on me. Was it the dog's fault? Absolutely not. Dog had every right to bite me at that point. If I would have had all the information from the doggy parents, I wouldn't have done what I did, which was just try to grab it from its collar to go after, because it was going after a Yorkie, but its trigger point was somebody grabbing its collar. I had no idea that was a trigger point. I didn't even know the dog had a bite history. So I went in there totally blind with the pretense that I was going there for one reason, but it was really another reason. But that's okay. I didn't get mad at the dog. I got a little upset with the humans because it would have been nice to know that the dog had a bite history and what its trigger was before I walked in the door. I got blindsided, but that's okay. The dog bit me 100% out of fear. Well, if it's fearful, why? And how can I change that fear into something so it realizes that that's not a bad thing that happened? Me grabbing you by the collar without me being angry shouldn't put you in a fearful state. So we had to work the dog through some issues, and that's okay. We did work the dog through some issues. The dog is doing phenomenal from last time I heard from the owners. Everything is going along really, really good with the dog, even when they had introduced a new baby to the home. And it's doing great with the baby, and it's doing a lot of beautiful, beautiful things. Why? Because I communicated to the dog when he bit me in a language he understood, and I never said a word to the dog after he bit me. I just worked with my energy, get him to calm down, which gave me a chance now to clean up my hand. I went through the whole process with him. I can go through a whole litany of things that went through in the 15 minutes after his bite. But the main point of the story is I actually controlled that red zone level 10 dog without touching the dog or saying a word to the dog. The only word I said is nope. After it was cornered and snarling and growling at me, I controlled him with my energy, which took away that fear from him, which was a beautiful thing to actually watch. He became less fearful as I stood there saying no. And I only said nope once. But because my energy stayed calm, he felt no threat from me. But if I would have went there and said, "Goddamn son of a, you bit me," that dog would have killed me. He would have lunged for my throat. Guaranteed. I know that. Because he was a red zone level 10 dog. His mindset is, I'm going to kill you before you kill me. But because I stayed calm, and I actually went as calm can be, and I know that because, I'm not wearing it now, but my wonderful Apple Watch actually showed me a lot that day, is, when I got bit, my pulse rate jumped up to like 140 over something. Of course, that would happen. Within a minute of being bit, I was actually at 72 beats a minute, which is lower than when I'm normally in a session. When I'm in a session and I'm up and about and I'm talking and I'm being animated, my heart rate's usually around 84 beats a minute. I actually went lower than my norm within a minute to help that dog. So that's how important that energy that I talk about week in, week out, guys, is. You can do so much more with a calmer energy. Guys, I'm not seeing a lot of comments. Does this crap make sense to you? Let me know. I don't even know who's here still. The number counter thing isn't working properly, so I'm hoping I still have a bunch of people here. Let me know. Because, again, if I'm saying something and we're not sure about it, if you're not sure about it, what I'm saying, I'm not helping you, and that's not the goal of this. I want to make sure we're all on the same page. I want everybody out there, fixing their dogs and then telling their friends how to fix their dogs. Because remember what I always say, guys, together we can help one dog and one family at a time. And I believe that. It's a passion of mine to put this knowledge into your hands. So let me know in the comments, anybody who's still watching, is this, or watching on the replay, is this information valuable to you? Is it do you understand what I'm saying? Does it make sense to you? Should I say it a different way? Let me know, guys. I'm trying to improve the system here. So let me know. I don't see a lot of comments coming through. So I'm hoping people are still here. If I don't see comments soon, we'll do our normal wrap up. But what I do want to let everybody know, and I'll take the halfway point here now while I'm waiting for comments, is first of all, next Wednesday evening, I will not be doing my live. As some of you may be aware of, I am in the process of moving, and Tuesday next week is my moving date. My house is getting loaded up. By Wednesday, I'll be in my new place in South Carolina. I will be doing this coming Saturday and the following Saturday. I'm missing one day of live chats because I think I'm going to just be exhausted after driving down to meet the movers down there. But the move is official. Can you see my question above? No, Susan, I cannot. I apologize for that. Let me go on my phone and see if I can find it on there, because sometimes I see things there that I don't always see on here. But if you can retype your question, let me see if I get it. If I remember how to use my phone. Let me go on here. It should show that I'm streaming live. Let me kill my volume so we don't see that. Let me see if I can get to fast forward a little bit here. Let me make it bigger. Oh, I like the live the caption things work. I'm not seeing it. So if you can retype your question, or do me a favor, if you can, text me your question. My phone number is 631-514-9128. If you text me it, I'll read it out loud online here. I'm not seeing it on my phone right now because I'm not in real time on that. There's a delay in there. And sorry, somebody who I was house sitting for Facebook texted me about something with the hot water heater, so I had to let them know real fast. So Susan, please, if I don't answer your question, text it to me at, again, the phone number is 631-514-9128. I will definitely want to answer all these questions. But getting back to what I was saying, guys, I am in the process of making that move. I've been speaking about it for a while. I'm excited about it. I'm nervous about it. What I do want to let everybody know is I am not going to stop this process. Next Wednesday, I'm going to miss it. The following Saturday on my Facebook Live on Saturday mornings at 11 will continue. I will not miss a beat there. Matter of fact, the most important thing for me to make sure my internet setup was done in the new place I'm going, so I can do this process. We're excited about it. We're nervous about it, of course, starting all over. But that's okay. That's a good thing. Everything happens for a reason, and I need to bring what I know in my head down to the Carolinas, because as many of you know, a lot of our rescue dogs come from the Carolinas, so there's a definite need for some help down there. I'm going to keep an eye on my phone here for Susan's text message. Hopefully I get that. If I don't see the text message, Susan, I will answer your question in the comments. So keep an eye on that, guys. I do go through the questions after, the whole chat afterwards. I look at it for a few days. I try to get notifications on the questions asked. So I'm going to check one other avenue for me to see Susan's question, if I can find it here. Just bear with me because I don't know how to use my own damn phone. Let me see if I can get into my YouTube here. It should. Yeah, that's not what I want to see. Nope. Let me get out of this. Go over here. Let's go here and let's see what we got here. Oh, wait. Maybe I can see it. Or is this real with me? Am I frozen? Guys, let me know if I'm frozen because I'm looking at my phone and it looks like I'm frozen. No, I'm not seeing the question on this platform either. So definitely, Susan, please text me it. Otherwise, I'll get to it later on. So the move is happening, guys. Like I said, next Wednesday, I will be an official South Carolinian. I don't even know if that's a real word, but it sounds good in my own head. Here's what I'm going to tell everybody. I will be putting a post out on my Facebook page, of course, this weekend after my live chat Saturday morning at 11 on Facebook. Any of my customers that I've worked with here, that we've met here, don't forget, I can always do Zoom sessions with you guys. There's nothing wrong with the Zoom session. I've done quite a few of those. People have had huge success. Because remember, 99% of what we deal with here is not me physically handling your dogs. It's me teaching you how to handle your dogs. So that's more about your body language and energy, which are the most crucial things in dog training. Like I said, the energy, the energy, the energy. And like I said, unfortunately, I'm not seeing it from Susan yet. So we're going to keep hopefully waiting on that for a little bit longer. I know it's getting late. Everybody wants to enjoy their Wednesday evening. And Susan, I apologize about not seeing your question and be able to answer it directly here. Here's what I'm going to tell you. I'll find the question. I will see it eventually. If not, I will try to reach out to you in a private message if I can. To get the question, and if it is something that I think needs to be put out there, I will do a separate video on my YouTube channel as well as on my Facebook page, reading the question and answering the question for the world to hear. Again, I wish I understood why this thing didn't work. Somebody else last week told me the same thing. They sent me a message and I didn't see it. But I will find it, Susan. I apologize for that. So with that being said, guys, I think we're going to wrap it up here. I do want to try one thing here before I wrap it up. Hold on one second. They did introduce something new here. Let me see if I can find it. Overlay chat. Let me see what that does. I don't know if that just puts it on the screen. I'm not too thrilled with that. So I'm still checking. All right. Well, I'm not seeing the question, guys, so I'm going to leave you on that note. Remember, guys, your energy is the most important form of communication we have with our dogs, with any of our animals, with our fellow humans. Our energy means a lot. It goes a long way. It's the best form of communicating to the animal world. So remember, stay calm. It's the best thing I can tell you. So with that being said, guys, without any other questions, Susan, I will look for your question as soon as I get off of this thing. As always, stay healthy, stay safe. God bless. Thank you for inviting me to your homes on Wednesday evenings. I appreciate it. Like I said, I won't see you next Wednesday, but I will see you the following Wednesday. Maybe I'll figure out my screen thing by then. So with all that being said, guys, stay healthy, stay safe. God bless. Thank you again for inviting me in your home. And remember, together we can help one dog and one family at a time. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, guys. Stay healthy, stay safe.